Hello, everyone. This is part 3 of my 3-part video series on how to write process essays. Part 1 dealt with how to write the introduction. Part 2 was for the body paragraph. And now here in part 3, we are going to talk about how to write the conclusion. As in the first 2 videos, let's take a look at a sample process essay. The conclusion. We've been looking at an essay on how to make paper bead jewelry by some women in Uganda. So let's look at the concluding paragraph for this essay. Okay, as we did with the body paragraph, please pause the video, read this concluding paragraph, and then restart the video so we can talk about it. Okay. I'm assuming you've read it. So let's look at it. We have the first sentence. In short, making paper bead jewelry is a simple but long process, and it is a process that the women of Uganda have mastered. So we start with a transition, a concluding transition. That transition in short lets the reader know we're finished the essay. This is the end. In short, we restate the topic of the essay. We were talking about making paper bead jewelry. So here we see in the very first sentence, we mentioned making paper bead jewelry. And this was a process essay. So we mention again that this is a long process, and it's a process that the women of Uganda have mastered. We have the word process twice in here. So we're really repeating this information for the reader. Topic and process. Okay. Then we have a restatement of the idea from the thesis that you can buy, thanks to the creativity of the women, you can buy paper bread necklaces and save yourself time. Okay. But you can make your own. Okay. So we mentioned in the introduction, we introduced our topic by telling a story about this organization, Bead for Life. So we mention it again in the conclusion. If we started the essay talking about Bead for Life, the charity, then we will end the essay talking about the Bead for Life charity. The best way to conclude your essay is to provide that bridge to link or connect the introduction to the conclusion. And then we have our final sentence, our final thought. You will have something wonderful and will help the women of Uganda support themselves. So our last sentence is usually some kind of prediction. It may be a recommendation, a suggestion, some advice. Here they're making you see they have the word will. You will have something wonderful and you will help the women of Uganda. That word will suggests we're making a prediction here. So the final thought is always some kind of prediction or recommendation. Let's look at a couple of other ways that we might conclude this particular essay. So again, we start the concluding paragraph with a concluding transition. It might be something very simple, kind of boring, but basic in conclusion. You could also say to conclude. You might say something like to sum up, in sum, or to summarize, in short, in brief. These are all standard concluding transitions. And then you will restate the thesis. You want to restate the main idea that you gave in the introduction. You don't want to copy and paste the same exact words. You want to restate the same idea, but with different words. So let's look at an example. If our original thesis was, if you follow this simple 7-step process, you can create this beautiful paper bead jewelry. In the conclusion, that was our thesis statement in the introduction. Now in the conclusion, we say to sum up, you will be able to fashion your own unique paper bead jewelry by following these 7 easy steps. Same idea. We're talking about a 7-step process, making paper bead jewelry. You can make your own jewelry, but we don't use the same exact words. We try to restate it in a slightly different way. So I have a lot of students struggle with this, how to restate the same idea, but using different words. So let's go over a few things you can do. The easiest thing is you can use synonyms or synonymous phrases. These are words or phrases that have the same meaning. So we can see if we look at the color yellow, in the original thesis, we use the word simple. In the conclusion, we use the word easy. If we look at the blue color in the original thesis, we had the word can. In the conclusion, be able to. Okay. Green, we said create your own paper bead jewelry. In the restatement, in the conclusion, you fashion your own. Okay. You could maybe say you make your own, you produce your own. Okay. And then we had a positive adjective in the original thesis, beautiful. In the restatement, not exactly the same meaning, but it's still a positive adjective. We say unique. Okay, so you can, again, your same idea, but different words. And this is what students usually do, and that's all they do. But this is not all we want to do. We want to do a little bit more. We don't want to just change 1 or 2 words. So what else can we do? Okay. One thing we can do is we can use different grammatical forms. So it's the same root word, but just slightly different grammar form. In the original thesis, they had the verb follow. If you follow, that's in present simple, present tense. In the conclusion, the form of the verb was the ing form, following. Again, same word, but slightly different. In the original thesis, we had a 7-step process. 7-step here is hyphenated. It's an adjective that describes the noun process. 7-step adjective. But in the conclusion, when we restate the thesis, we change that adjective into the plural noun steps. And we said 7 steps. So using synonyms are using different grammatical forms. And then the thing that students often do not do, and something that really you should do, is reordering the ideas. So getting beyond just looking at individual words or phrases, looking at the whole sentence and rearranging the sentence structure. So we can see in the original sentence, in the original thesis, in that yellow part, that's where we talk about the simple 7-step process. And then in the green, we talk about creating the paper bead jewelry. For the conclusion, we just flipped that around. And we started our sentence talking about creating paper bead jewelry. And the second half of the sentence says following the easy steps. So we took those 2 ideas, cause and effect. And then in the conclusion, we say effect and cause. Or we could, if you had reason, right? This is a reason, and this is our result. You can flip those, and you start with the result and then give the reason, right? So just reordering the ordering of the sentence. Okay. Thank you for watching all 3 of these videos. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments. Bye.